It is a very un-Arizona-like morning this morning. We've had kind of intermittent rain, sorta, but we got apparently a lot of rain coming. But that just means we got a lot of work to do today to get ahead of that rain. So with rain, that means we got a few different things that we need to take care of with the pigs. I am gonna, of course, have our poop morning here this morning, but kind of turn around here, you'll see we did a little bit of work on the pig enclosure. So, you know, cool temperatures are okay. Cold's a little tough on pigs, but cold and wet is really rough on pigs. So Monday we're expecting, I think even into Tuesday, we're expecting rain, possibly some snow, because we've got, you know, low 30 temps. We have rain at the same time. Usually that means it's more than just water coming down. So we went ahead and you'll see added a piece of plywood in front of the enclosure, and we're working on getting the backside shored up a little bit so they've got a nice warm cubby that they can get into and kind of bundle into. And we also have some additional hay that we put in there. We're going to add even more into there come tomorrow, because they tend to eat it. But we want to make sure that they're going to be able to stay nice and cozy in there with the rain. Okay, so I need to go ahead and get to the pig manure chores this morning, get those knocked out, because we've got a lot of things we need to get done today. Take a quick break and see if you guys can see this, especially with the more moisture that we get in the air. I've got steam coming off. This is nice and warm. Now, this is definitely very unfinished compost. Doesn't smell all that good, but obviously it got a good amount of moisture here with the rain. Hey pigs. Got a good amount of moisture with the rain, and you can see that steam coming off there, which is great, because that means it's doing what it's supposed to do and composting down. All right, I need to get back to work. So give you a shot of those manure piles right there. That is a lot of fertility waiting for fruit trees back there. Speaking of fruit trees, we actually had a couple of mix-ups with some fruit trees that we ordered. So we had ordered a bunch of bare root fruit trees from groworganic.com. They're actually Dave Wilson trees, and Dave Wilson shorted them. Basically all the trees, not basically, all of the trees that we ordered were shorted, so we didn't get any of those. I talked to them on Tuesday and verified that we weren't getting any of our trees. What's great is I ordered trees from 2 different online nurseries. One of them I think is called One Green World, if I'm not mistaken, and the other one was called Planting Justice. Both of them I contacted on Tuesday, ordered trees on Tuesday. They started shipping on Wednesday. We got trees last night from Planting Justice. We're actually going to try to get those planted on camera with you guys today. They look fantastic in small pots. And then we have more trees arriving today from, I'm pretty sure it's One Green World. Either way, it was really cool to see those guys jump right into action, get us trees here on the farm. And of course, what that means is we have planting to do. So I'm gonna go check on Lori. I think she finished up all of the chicken chores. One thing you guys are watching today is pruning. We're also gonna be trying to get some pruning done today if we can, because with this weather and rain obviously coming our way pretty heavy, we really want to try to get more of that pruning done. But before we jump to that, I want to show you guys real quick what the orchard looks like. If you guys are watching this video today, we're putting up our first pruning video of the year, and we pruned this whole area here. That is the western orchard, which is all of our stone fruit, and really looks amazing. Wanted to show you guys here real quick some of the peach trees. You guys know we're challenged with rabbit pressure, and here, kind of squat down. And so basically what we had to do was keep much taller trunks on these trees than we normally probably would. Now, The rabbits don't seem to mess with the peach trees too much. They really have an affinity for plums and plum hybrids for some reason. So we're gonna see if we can get away with leaving these uncaged, but we wanted to make sure we had trunks that were high enough that we could keep them away from rabbits if necessary with some caging. So I'm gonna walk through here real quick and show you guys. Completely different look here in the wintertime. I really love the way the orchard looks when it's newly pruned. Just looks really, really clean. And of course now we have, you'll see a couple piles of branches. Now, one thing you guys know, we love our Sunjoe chipper. And when we moved it here, for whatever reason, we decided to put the replacement blades on top of the hopper. And they fell into that. The first time we fired it up, we threw blades into the middle of that thing. And luckily, nobody got hurt, except for the Sunjoe chipper got destroyed. So we went online and we found a PTO driven chipper that can hold 4-inch branches, and we need to put that together. But for now, we've got a couple piles of branching that we're gonna have to chip here shortly. And sweetheart, you're here right with me. Did you get the chicken chores done for us?
I did.
Mm-hmm. So that means we have other things we need to get done. So what do you think? What should we do first?
I guess plant some trees.
Ooh, plant some trees. Now you're speaking my language. All right, so we're gonna show you guys the trees we got from Planting Justice. And I think we're gonna go ahead and get those planted with you guys here right now. It was kind of nice to see how they shipped them. They packaged them really well. You can see they kind of have them taped together here really good. They did put them in pots for shipment. I don't know whether these are bare root trees. I'm assuming they actually are, even though they're in soil in these pots. But it's nice because we weren't scrambling last night to get these trees actually healed in. We were able to just keep them in the outbuilding until we were ready to plant today. Where we're at here in the orchard here on the eastern side is we're in our pome fruit section. Now we already have some summer apples or some traditional desert apples, some Anna, Golden Dorset. We'll be getting a Tropic Sweet, 3 of them actually from Reed here this spring. Where I'm at here is actually gonna be our fall apples that we're gonna be trying. So we had a few different varieties in the old farm that did okay, but never got fruit to ripening. We had a Gala, a Fuji, a Honeycrisp, and also a Pink Lady. I think we had 1 or 2 others. Never got the fruit all the way into fall when they're ripe. So what we're doing is trying a couple different ones. We are getting a Gala because it's a fantastic pollinator for a lot of your fall apple varieties. But here at the front of the area where we're gonna be doing our fall apples and our pears, we have a couple of new ones that we're trying. This first one is a Wynochee Early. Apparently this is one of the earliest fall apples to actually ripen. I know in the Pacific Northwest, I think it's August. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that maybe we can get some July ripening and maybe actually get some fall, quote unquote, apples off of this one. We also have a Jersey Mac, that's this one here. Again, another very early ripening fall apple, hopeful on that one. And then we have a Quince, and actually Natasha and Leidman Garden just want to thank you for suggesting this variety. So this is a Smyrna Quince. I know Natasha has had good luck with getting fruit to ripen off of her tree, and she's actually not too far from us. So we're hoping that this actually will do as well here also. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure that these are trimmed back to whips. So I'm going to be choosing a single branch, essentially pruning off some excess here so that we can get these here in the ground. What I'm looking at here, I've got 2 branches. I've got one that's definitely a lot taller than the other one. This one looks fantastic, nice and straight. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this second smaller one. I'm gonna cut it, but I'm assuming that this one's gonna come out of dormancy and be okay, but just in case, this is the only one that actually is in good shape, I am gonna go ahead and leave one of the nodes for this particular branch available. Again, just in case. So take that off right there. Now what I have is I have my longer single whip and a backup here, again, just in case. If this one buds out, I'll go ahead and snip that one off. Got another little guy there, take that off. again, back to a single whip, which will become my trunk. This one here, this is the Jersey Mac. It's a little bit easier. I've got a small one down here. Got to be careful, it's growing right up against the trunk. So take that off right there. And then I've got another small one here and a taller single whip here. Again, looks nice and viable, but just in case, until it breaks bud, I'll leave a couple of buds there to make sure we're gonna get growth out of this. And then the quince is right here. I've got one little extra there I'm gonna take off. This is definitely my taller, quote unquote, of the two. We'll go ahead and leave a couple of nodes there just in case. Again, once this breaks bud and I know that it's viable, we'll take this one off as well. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead and get these planted. I think what I'm gonna do is just do a time lapse, but as far as placement, so that we remember as well, we're gonna be putting that Wynochee right here, just adjacent to where the pigs are causing a ruckus behind us here. That's gonna be our Jersey Mac right there, butting right up against our pear area of the orchard here. And then just on the back side of the pears, before we run into another type of tree that should be here today, will be our quince. So that's where we're gonna go ahead and get planted now. So we've got this Wynochee in the ground. So very loose soil around the root ball, so it's kind of falling apart on us. But I know I talk about this all the time, but one of the things that was cool about their planting instructions, I read planting instructions and they're always very generic. They were real specific, and one thing I like that I don't always see is they clarified the planting depth for the root crown on trees. And they specifically said to plant them a little deep, up to 1 inch deep, if you have loose soil that drains well, and if you have clay and hard soils exactly like we do here in Arizona, to build a mound and have it up to 3 inches above grade. So as Lori comes in closer, you'll see how we have this planted. My root crown, so my first set of roots, you can see is right there. So I'm gonna keep that covered because those are young baby roots, but they're here. If I come out this way, you can see where my finger's at. I'm about 3 inches or so from ground level here. It's about 2 inches here. This is a little higher, so I'm probably about 1 inch or so from here. But remember, we also dig a trench right now around here. That's gonna be another 3 or so inches deep. So this is truly gonna be up on a mound several inches above what will be ground level. So again, when you're planting your trees, make sure you do not plant them too deep. We want them as far away from that caliche as we can get them and let those roots spread out. Okay, Lori and I are gonna get back to work and finish this tree up. So we're finishing up the last tree, the Smyrna quince, and I just wanted to talk real quick because I've had some questions. I guess I just assume a lot of times that it's just all of us here in Arizona watching these, but I know that it's not. So I had a lot of questions on what we use to paint the trunks. You'll see Lori diligently painting the trunk of the Smyrna quince, and we paint on these guys. We paint up a little, about halfway. We had the Wynochee I was able to paint up about 3 feet, but essentially what we're using, if you can see it, hopefully, is this Arizona's Best tree trunk paint. So obviously in Arizona, most of us recognize that really well, but my understanding is it's about a 50-50 combination of indoor latex paint and water. So we like these because it's already mixed for us. Very easy for us to get to and go ahead and get the trunks painted. So we're gonna go ahead and finish up planting this Smyrna quince and then see what it looks like when we're done. You get an idea of what those look like there. Got the 2 apple trees there, and sun's gonna mess us up here, but we've got our quince right there. So those are planted. Now what we actually need to do is we need to get to pruning. We're just kind of scrambling right now because of the rain, and we had really warm temperatures last weekend, and actually most of last week, and we actually had our potted apple tree started breaking bud, and I'm a little concerned that we may have the same thing going on here with these little apple trees. So we need to get all of these pruned. We also need to swap out these cages. We're using the 3-foot tall hardware cloth, so we need to get some more of those made. But I think we're gonna be doing a video specifically on pruning. We have a lot of questions out there on pruning, so we wanna make sure we get kind of an idea of what you can do that first year with your fruit trees in getting them established. And here in Arizona, you can prune them nice and heavy because they grow so rapidly. Well, assuming you're getting good rapid growth. So we're gonna be doing that, I think today, get the pome fruit done and hopefully the figs, and give you guys an idea of how we're gonna do that. Lori and I are shooting a pruning video on pome fruit, and I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. So you'll see me talking about it next week, although not to the same extent. So this tree right here, you can see we actually didn't defoliate completely, but we're pruning this tree, so we're gonna remove these leaves. But what I really wanted to show you guys is these trees we got from Reed at RSI Growers. We put these in the ground in October. I can't remember the exact week. I think it was the middle of October. So they've been in the ground for about 3 months. And you know, we always talk to you guys about making sure that you have that nice, heavy, deep mulch, and you're encouraging that root growth to come out. What I wanted to show you guys is the amount of root growth that we're getting on some of these. Now, this one's not as extensive as the other ones, but we have roots everywhere in here. So you can see this here, I'm not gonna break it, but I've got this here. There's another one on the other side that looks just like it. So that's really exciting. And then some are obviously rooting better than others, but what I also wanted to show you guys is this. That is gardener's gold right there. At least that's what they turned this into. That'd be an earthworm. We did not put this here. I've got another one right here. So I got that there. I've got another one right here. I've got another one right here. Maybe that's it. I'm sure there's probably more, but either way, you can see that. That is what you really want to see going on in your wood chips here during the wintertime. We really see it a lot. So I just wanted to tuck those back in. I just want to take that quick break. Lori and I need to get back to pruning because we definitely got storms coming in today. Lori and I were just finishing up lunch, got a knock at the door, and here is our shipment from One Green World. As we have a bare root gala, so we got that. We're gonna probably have to go ahead and heel in. And then we have 3 potted trees. These 3 trees are actually 3 different varieties of jujubes. We really struggled finding jujubes, and I think it's because Dave Wilson had an issue with jujubes this year. Seemed like every place online was basically sold out of jujubes. What was neat about these is these are varieties that I basically didn't recognize at all. So I think, I'm trying to remember the exact varieties, but in the end, we'll go over them with you when we plant these. But not the tallest trees, but if these grow anything like the jujube that we had at the other farm, I don't think we're gonna have any issues with these little trees. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that these have plenty of water in these little pots. So water those in real good, and let's get this thing healed in right here. If we have time tonight, I think Lori and I will try to scramble and get this in the ground. I'd really like to get this in the ground versus healing it in, especially as late as we're getting. One of the reasons why we're pruning today, and encourage you guys to do the same with your pome fruit, so your apples and pears, you guys know we have a tendency to get real warm, and the apple trees really like to break bud. So I don't want to take too many chances setting this aside. Plus, we have trees that we're picking up next weekend from Greg at the Urban Farm. Those are all bare root, and we need to scramble to get those in the ground. So I don't think I want to get too far behind if we have that as an option, but Laura and I still need to go get some pruning done. So we better get back to work. We actually just wrapped up the video on the pome fruit pruning, and I wanted to take a peek in on the pigs. We've got this set up now so that they can kind of hunker down in there, especially for the cold possible snow that we may have next week. But they're all in here nice and spread out and real comfy. Let's go take a peek. Yeah, they definitely really like that. They got their little tails going and real happy and comfy. Okay, so I think Lori and I are gonna actually skip the gala tree planting today. I was hoping we can get that in the ground, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and just get that healed in. But for the most part, I think we're actually done for the day. Hon, what do you say? I got Lori over here yawning away.
I'm tired.
You ready to be done for today?
Sure.
I think I'm ready to be done for today as well. Really hoping that we get some of that rain this week. Obviously, all of us here in Arizona, we really need it bad. If we actually get snow, maybe I can get it on camera. If we're here, that would be something to see, wouldn't you say?
It'd be crazy.
Snow. I mean, obviously, hopefully we'll see it there at the north end of the White Tank Mountains. But anyhow, really glad you guys were here with us today. We've still got a couple things we need to get done this afternoon, but I think for the most part, we're gonna kind of take it easy. As you guys know, any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section down below. Amazon shop, free painless way to help support the channel. Until next time, remember, if we can do this on the edge of nowhere, so can you.